Finally, we've been waiting a few days till we got this. I know you have too, because you probably searched for Halo chair, or because you're a Halo fan, you got this in your FYP page. So either way, I don't care how you got here, but I do care that we give you content for this chair that you've all been probably wanting to hear good, reasonable opinions about. So before I start, I want to let you guys know that in this video, we're going to also be giving away this chair. So keep watching all the way through to get the terms of the giveaway for this chair, the Halo chair, if you're interested. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. This is the highly anticipated Haworth Halo collaboration. Halo is a $6 billion franchise for a huge and popular community amongst the Xbox users, primarily, and then also, I believe, PC. It has sold over 81 million copies of their Halo franchise. Without further ado, I'm going to analyze this chair from the ergonomic and build perspective before anything else, and then we'll also incorporate a review from one of our dear friends who is a big Halo aficionado. To start off, I wanted to talk about the build materials. Our first impression, we unboxed it. It came pre-built with the exception of the headrest. You have to install the headrest. So it does, at the $1,300 price point, which was on sale from their $1,500 price point MSRP, it saves you a little bit of time in terms of installation. Everything was installed literally from the casters on up, except the headrest, which was a 2 to 3 minute install. Not too bad. From a build quality perspective, I want to talk about what I feel and see from a first impression. I love the fabric, the breathable fabric, dimpled all the way through and wrapped around the back. So it really gives it a high quality feel. And then under that you have this rubber lattice. The rubber lattice gives it a huge amount of conformity and give to your back, shape and pressure that you apply. Next is the seat. It's a really high quality, I believe, synthetic leather and a high quality stitch down the middle and on the edges. The stitching material is very, very high quality. I can tell around the seams, and it has a nice little contrast, and that the stitching is black to contrast the dark olive green. The arm pads are relatively soft and they're sloping, so they give you a nice little angling on the curvature. It's great from that perspective. First thing I want to point out in terms of the actual design is it has the landmark S-curve that almost all ergonomic chairs have. So that's going to be a huge advantage over any gaming chair, true racing gaming chair, because most of those come flat. And as we know from the Herman Miller engineers, when they designed the Herman Miller, they were one of the first people to introduce curvatures into the chair because the human body does not have straight lines. It has curves all throughout. So this S-curve here will emulate the S-curve of your back. Now to sit in it, you'll see I feel it's extremely comfortable from that perspective. Now the headrest is a little too low, and if I have it at the lowest position, it does hit my shoulders and it's a little annoying. So I'll have to raise that and adjust that. From that perspective, I love the feeling of the back. The back is great, and I love that it's breathable because I tend to overheat and I do sweat a lot of times. So that will prevent that from happening with the breathability of the whole chair. So if you've seen the Zodis, this has the same tension control as the Zodis, same tilt locks. I've counted the tilt locks. It has 5 different lock settings. For the tilt lock, you have the 90 degrees, and then every other angle back from the 90 degrees. So here's at 90 degrees. Click back, approximately 110. Click back, 120. 130, and then all the way back. The tension control, again, is pretty solid in terms of the function, but I hate this crank. It reminds me of an old classic car, but you know, it does a job. But what I also don't like about it is it has this little plastic lip knob or case at the end of it, and that case is loose on it, and it just feels cheap that it kind of rolls like that. I don't like that. I would have rather them put like a rubber grip on this, which a lot of high-end companies do for any kind of adjustment mechanisms. They put a rubberized coating on any of their adjustment parts. So From that perspective, I would have appreciated that it would have cost them a little bit more, but would have enhanced the feel of the chair as well. Next, I'll mention that the cushion for the seat is actually great. You'll notice that the cushion is awesome. It does compress and rebound rather quickly. From a durability perspective, we'll have to see, but we've seen some of their Zodi chairs and the cushions on those are pretty reasonably durable. To that extent, we'll have to see with time. I do notice though they're not ergonomically curved like some of the molded cushions that you'll see in Steelcase Leaps. Those have a cushion that's molded so that it fits and cradles your legs. This one doesn't necessarily have that. So it's a high quality seat, but it's not the best designed seat. The back though is top notch. The seat depth, which is great. It's super smooth to the point that I can even do it while I'm sitting down, which is awesome. Sometimes you have to stand up and do that, but to have that seat depth and be able to do while you're sitting down is cool. But at the same time, when I'm looking at it, there is a 5 to 6 inch gap between the back and the seat. So that's a pretty nice, decent range of the seat depth that you can exchange. I don't like this tag out here, so obviously anyone that buys this chair and wants to keep it would probably be better off cutting it. So this is one of the coolest things that I've only seen in the Haworth Fern, and it's this. You have this forward tilt for the Fern. It's completely different than any other forward tilt that I've seen from any other chair. Specifically the forward tilts on the Herman Millers. So the forward tilt here, as opposed to having the whole chair angled forward, they only have it from the seat perspective. So I can simply lift this lever up and then kind of slide towards the front of the seat and my weight will push it down. I let go and now the seat is angled forward. And it's not too pronounced, it's not terrible, but here's where there might be an issue with this forward tilt. If you're gonna make a leather seat and if you're wearing smooth pants, whether it be workout shorts or like smooth khakis, it's gonna feel like there's slipping, and that might hinder the way you perceive this forward tilt if you feel like you're kind of slipping and falling down. But nonetheless, as a mechanism, the forward tilt is amazing. And obviously you have the height adjustment, super simple pneumatic cylinder, which is standard. So I'll raise the headrest. The headrest here is a little annoying in that it's just a tooth track you can raise and lower it by applying pressure in either direction. So I kind of need to put the headrest at the highest position to actually get what I want from this chair in terms of the support. Otherwise, if I put it all the way down, it hits my shoulders and it's very annoying. So for those guys that do like this chair, the Halo chair, they do like the Halo franchise, are interested in the Haworth Fern, I think this is a nice chair that they would love to see in their living room or office. We are giving this chair away, and here are the terms. Very simply, you'll have to subscribe to our channel and comment. If you do that, we will choose a random person from the comment section that's already subscribed to be our winner at the end of the month for this chair, and all that will be needed from them is to pay for the shipping. Other than that, the chair is yours, free and clear, and hope you guys enjoyed. Something that I noticed is I don't like the way that the headrest is particularly attached. It's attached to clips, so it's pretty easy to remove the headrest by accident if you're gripping the back. So I don't like it from that perspective. It's not that secure, so I would have rather had a different kind of coupling mechanism for the headrest than what it is right now. That might be a very rare instance where you actually grab the headrest from the top to move it, but most of your pressure is going this way, so and the forces are going this way. So the cushion on that front of the headrest is fantastic. I just don't like the coupling mechanism on that. They are 4D arms. You have vertical sliding arms. You have the pivot inwards, horizontally, and outwards. And then on top of that, the entire arm plate under it actually angles in and outward, which is pretty cool. So you'll see that the whole arm's pivoted. So don't confuse that with the pivoting of the arm pads on top of the arm plate. The arm plate moves but so do the arms themselves on top of the arm plate. So that adds another degree of variability in terms of the range of the arm movements. So that makes it one of the better arms, honestly, out there. One of the only other arms that may be better in terms of the range of motion is the steel case gesture, because in addition to this type of movement, you'll probably notice that they had the movement from the arm joints on the back rather than the sides. Next is you have the telescoping arms, which are pretty standard. They have a button underneath the arm pad. You click it with your fingers. It has a nice little indent in the underneath the arm pad for the lever. So that's nice. It's not just flat. It's actually curved so that your fingers go and fit right into it. So they're snug and they don't slip, and they go up and down. So it's nice to have that little feature ergonomically for your fingers. Lumbar, which is amazing, honestly. It has this big lever here to make it a little bit easier because it's a tooth track. The tooth track requires some force up and down. The lever for the lumbar is metal, which is awesome because that really gives it the feel of quality. And then the spine that holds it, the back, is also metal. So that also endures in terms of the durability and the quality of the chair build. So I love that aspect. Wherever you can put more metal into it, especially during a time where many of the high-end companies are phasing out metal and incorporating plastic instead, if you're noticing more metal, it's a cool feature to see. So the lumbar that attaches to that lever is actually a rubber roll, and it's compressible, if you notice, which is amazing. Because it's compressible, it will compress with your back as well. It has give, rather than a bulging protrusion through the back and into your back. Of course, you have the Haworth embossing into the metal down here. The base is a metal base as well. That's probably powder coated in some shape or form. I am disappointed with the casters down here. These casters are not soft casters, so I would doubt these would be safe for any hard floor surfaces. They will probably scratch your hard floor surfaces. They're not even rubberized coat edged, which honestly are very cheap to modify and incorporate. So I'm surprised that they didn't do that. They could have done, for a chair that's this price tag, they could have modified this and easily had a good or better quality casters attached to this chair. So I'm surprised that they kind of skimped out on the casters in that regard.
How much is this chair again?
$1,300.
No, that's like the inflated sticker price. That's not like the actual, what's the street price? Is that actually?
The MSRP is nearly $1,500.
Bro, this chair better make me feel like I'm an ODST re-entering orbit for this kind of money. All right, I'll give you this. It is a comfortable chair. But $1,300, dude? You know how I feel? I feel like I'm a Star Wars Gen X fan, where like every constant, company's intrusion into the corporate IP like worsens the IP every single time. It's like destroying my video game franchise, okay? But as for the chair, like 117, cool. My mother could have done this. Okay, it's dark green, which is nice. You have a little gold thing at the back here for, little UNSC insignia. Have they ever made gaming chairs before? Is this like their first attempt at a gaming chair?
This is their first one.
Okay, so maybe they're trying to be like way too understated to attract that. Or they're at that like critical mass of a company where they just have like really cheap shot colorways and make a ton of money off of the market. But like, it's a comfortable chair, don't get me wrong. But this has nothing to do with Halo. Like, it's just green. And someone put something here on the, perforated upholstery or polyester to kind of like scream it out. But like, this is really nothing particularly groundbreaking. Who was that company that you showed me a while back that did like the Star Wars chairs?
Secret Labs.
Okay, that's a Star Wars chair. I'm not even a Star Wars guy, right? But when I look at those chairs, I'm like, damn, I should be a Star Wars guy. They could have done so much more with this. They could have made like a red version for the Banish. They could have made a purple Covenant version. Could have made a black ODST version. It does give me good back support. And my understanding is like this is a model that they make just, without the green. Is really the only modification they made. And it feels good. It's a comfortable chair. Like, what constitutes a gaming chair really? Like, do you need to have your Doritos like coming up on the side from like an armrest? I don't think so. right? But you want to have good back support, arm support, I assume, right? And this does do that. It's just, why call it a halo chair? You know, that's the only thing they did here. Green, and then they made this little thing. Okay, that's it. Like, dude, like, you could have given us some more designs. You could have made, you know, the leather down here a little cooler looking. You could have made the back chair look like, this doesn't scream Halo. For example, these armrests, you could have done something like these go up and down, right? These go up and down, these have traction. You could have put a little energy sword coming out, you know, with the blades, for example. This thing, I assume this thing, yeah, this goes up and down, right? Why didn't you make the handle here? I don't know, make the handle like a Halo frag grenade or the handle of an energy sword. Have it come out all the way up here and you grab it with like an elite like this. That'd be cool. Tacky, but cool. I wouldn't buy it because it's Halo. I would buy it because it's a comfortable chair. And I would try to do something about this.
Would you stream in this chair?
Stream?
Yeah.
No, dude, to be a streamer, you gotta have like all the fancy lights and like the Star Wars chair, the whatever. I wouldn't stream in this chair if I was a streamer, personally. But listen, it's a comfortable chair. It's just nowhere near where I wanted it to be for a Halo chair. And I think that sums it up. Oh, this is gonna be great for the because we can sell this to the corporate guys to a law firm or something. No, you can't. This is green.
Even with it being understated.
Super tacky 117 in the middle. So just if you're going into the gaming community, might as well go in with your best foot forward and show people that you're actually giving a damn about the community.
Right.
Hey, we're not just trying to extract money out of you like everyone else who's come before us. No, like I don't know if you've ever seen this is hilarious to me. Nerf, like the Nerf guns, the plastic guns, they make Halo guns and they look fantastic. And they're not $300, yeah, they're like $100, and they're amazing. They did it with like the Alien series as well. Nice. Amazing. Like they probably had designers crossing over from Halo saying, hey, we want this, a real big Halo fan. And I can tell whoever designed this got absolutely zero input from the Halo community.
They probably paid a pretty penny from the Halo licensing community.
Yeah, that's probably why they're trying to maximize. I mean,
so who knows how much they paid for that, but. I mean, even then, when you mentioned this back, you may or may not like the fact that it's a plastic back for the headrest, but let's say we just want to make a minimal modification to enhance the aesthetic.
Yeah.
This could have been a different color back. I think the green and switching to the black ruins it. If this could have been, you could have done multiple things because this is the lowest that the back goes. It's not gonna come into contact with the inner back. You could have put an insignia or some kind of design.
Yeah, something on the top. Right. Or like, for example, this little...
They could have done it, or they could have molded the whole back into a different color.
This spine support here, this like lower back lumbar support thing, if they made this, if they molded out of a different color, like that gold visor, and put some lighting behind here to peer through, that'd be great. It'll be like skeletal.
There's cheap gaming chairs that have LED lights.
Yeah, dude, they could have
put some cheap LED lights into it, and then
$1,300.
And it would have illuminated the lattice right through.
Yeah.
And it would have shown the gold.
Yeah.
The rubber lattice.
Yeah.
Because the rubber
or
lattice,
honestly, they could
have put any color, and honestly, it's not.
Yeah, they could have kept the black rubber lattice and like gold LED. We'd see that shine through.
That would be amazing.
Right? That would be cool as hell.
Super small touches. Haworth, I hope you guys see this. You guys could definitely take some of these modifications, maybe do it in their next iteration. I've seen the comments from all of your ads. The Halo community, particularly from what I've seen, is not really happy with this chair.
Yes, they have not to speak on behalf of Halo, but Halo is very near and dear to my heart, okay? And we have been absolutely blasted by a cornucopia of companies just like Haworth. We're looking to make some money off of the intellectual property. Very rarely do you get an actual genuine attempt at pleasing that community, making it really well done. Go do it with Overwatch. Go do it with Call of Duty now. Get it out,
I think there is a Call of Duty chair out there.
Yeah, probably.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, bro. Anytime.